I am so blessed to be backstage at the Shavitz Arena tonight for a very sold-out show on the Attention tour with the man himself, Brent from Shinedown. Thanks for taking some time to chat with me.
Thanks for taking the time to chat with me.
You guys are such a favorite of our station, and we really love all the time you give to us. So thank you. I just saw you out there meeting and greeting with so many people. And it's
the whole reason we can build these big shows.
Well, this is a big show.
Yep.
Papa Roach, Asking Alexandria, that's an incredible pairing for this. Did you have any hand in that kind of
Absolutely.
setup?
Yeah, we kind of asked them early, both Asking Alexandria and Papa Roach, and because these particular shows were put on sale, we've been trying to not do like the 2-month lead times. We're trying to now like give anywhere between 4 and 5 months, because the influx of touring, also just there's a lot of artists touring all over the world. You kind of have to do it just to make sure you have enough time for the fan base to really know that you are coming to their city, their country, and what have you, because everyone's touring.
There's a lot.
But yeah, it was very specific for Asking Alexandria to be here with us, and for Papa Roach. It had been a minute. We'd never toured with Asking before.
But you guys in Papa Roach are like, that's
old
our
school
wheelhouse,
love.
man.
That's old school love.
I know there's a lot of fans in the house who are thrilled because of that, the both of you guys together.
Yeah.
And especially, congratulations, you guys were named the hardest rocking tour act of 2018.
Yeah.
You guys put in the shows, you put in the miles. Yeah. So what does it mean to continue to do that kind of tour schedule this many years into being a band? I mean, what does it feel like to just really, how many hundreds and hundreds of shows?
Yeah, I think we're in thousands at this point. It's something for us where we've never really lost the dynamic of 5 or 500,000, because we played for 5 people before, but we played for 500,000 also. So the dynamic with all of that, it does go back to the fan base and the incentive of, I got to be honest, and I'm only speaking for us, but the fan base for us, whether they've been there from day one or whether they are just kind of finding out who the band is, they're massively motivating. And they're very, they're just, that spirit and that energy and that appreciation and that love for, at the end of the day, the songs.
Yeah.
We've just never really believed in a top. We don't really subscribe to the idea of, we don't like the fake it if you make it.
Yeah.
We don't really believe in, I've arrived or we've arrived. We still get extremely nervous right before we go on stage.
Really?
Yeah, because and we would think that something was wrong if we didn't get nervous. It lets you know you're alive.
Yeah, that's true.
I think to answer the question, I know maybe a little bit more detailed than, a simple, yes or no answer, but it really just comes down to the fact that we're never going to phone it in. You know what I mean? We're always going to have to push ourselves, because the fan base doesn't deserve anything except our 100% at all times.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome, especially, so many bands nowadays, I feel like, get going and then they do a little bit and then they're like, okay, well, we've reached this certain status and now we can we don't need to do interviews anymore. We don't need to do meet and greets. We don't need to do that. And you guys, even earlier this week, had a very special kind of meet and greet with one of your fans. You brought them on stage, and it was a child, I heard, Zach.
We actually had 2 shows that it was unexpected, actually. In Milwaukee, it was a beautiful 19-year-old boy named Zach Olson, and we didn't actually know he was coming. And it was through another organization, and he came, and him and his mom kind of came into the dressing room. You kind of see that it was a little like nerve-wracking for them, and I wasn't aware of this, and so I kind of positioned myself outside of the dressing room because I was trying to kind of calculate what was going on, and then I started to figure it out. And sometimes it can feel like in those types of situations that you're being microscoped, and you don't know what this young man daily life is like.
Yeah.
So you want to take him out of that for a moment, and it seemed like everything was so regimented. So like when they came out of the dressing room, I was like, Zach, you want to come hang out with me for a little while? I'll show you how all this stuff works. And so we just kind of impromptu, I took him around and we went through the arena, and I showed him about, this is how we do it, and this is how many people are involved in it, and why we do it the way that we do. And then I was coming around to the other side of the venue, and it was very lucky because I Papa Roach. Jacoby was in his dressing room, so I pulled him out real quick. I was like, hey, you take a picture? He's like, absolutely, man. And as we're taking a picture.
That is so cool. I can't.
I know. And we were taking a picture with Jacoby and asking Alexandria was coming down the hall because they were getting ready to go to stage. So then he got to meet, asking there too. And such a killer kid too. And his brother Gavin, you could tell that it's something where they're trying to find the normalcy inside of it and live every day for what the day brings them. But yeah, I knew he was in front of house and he was watching from there, but when we did Second Chance, I don't want to give too much away about the show tonight, but we have a bunch of surprises. But I had him I looked down on the thrust and he's just sitting there like this, just kind of like, God. So I just sang happy. I just sang. Well, he made me happy just by singing, but I sang most of the Second Chance to him. And,
that's so awesome.
Yeah, it's something that never. That dynamic of, I wish I would see more of it in the world these days.
I do too. I was just thinking, I
the
feel like
empathy for someone.
Yes, as you're saying this, I can think that this seems like totally no-brainer to you. There's this kid and he loves your music and you want to give him the same experience, but that isn't what every rock star thinks. So that's still very, very cool of you. So I hope you know that's very rare. I think that
I just never really looked at myself as a rock star. I guess
you flinched when I said that. You flinched, I saw you flinch a little bit when I said that.
Well, it's not a flinch.
But you are, so.
Yeah, you know what?
Okay.
It took me a minute to kind of figure out to be okay with that part of me.
Yeah. Because
that part of me is performance. Mm-hmm. So, and our good friend Chris Frank knows this. Chris is over there, by the way. At 8 o'clock at night, I turn into a pumpkin. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's the hour out. I have to tell myself that, there is kind of a switch that happens and this other part of me comes out. It's still me.
Yeah.
But it's the performance side of me. So that took me a while, through the years to kind of be acceptant of that because I'm going to be honest with you, my mother and my dad and my granny growing up, my mom and my dad taught me about empathy and about being a gentleman. And my granny taught me how to be the hardest worker in the room. So you have to sometimes kind of separate those things. When you go out there, you want to show your humility, but you also want to bring it. You know what I mean? Because they came to be entertained.
Yes. Well, one of the words I think is a buzzword in 2019 is self-care. And with a touring schedule as hectic as you guys, I think it's smart to compartmentalize what you have to do in order to take care of yourself, in order to be that person on stage for your fans and to be that person during the day for meet and greets. Yeah. What is it like as far as a band off the stage for, self-care regimens? I know you guys work out. I know you guys take care of yourself. What does that look like on a hectic schedule like this?
I mean, honestly, we try to keep it regimented into the degree of we hold each other accountable for things. Look, at the end of the day, too, I'm 41 years old, but I don't feel like I'm 41. But it's also because I kind of train like an athlete.
Yeah.
So you have to keep each other in check with one another because we wouldn't be able to do what we do if we didn't treat ourselves with respect. Your body is your temple. I mean, I wish I could tell people that there's like this magic thing that happens out here in regards to when you tour like this, but you got to be in shape. You have to take care of yourself. You have to know what you can and what you cannot do. And the other thing, too, is that just takes experience. You know what I mean? Like, I learn something on a daily basis, like every second of the day. And I'm only as good as the people I surround myself with. But having that awareness out here, there's 76 people on staff out here, on this tour.
Awesome.
And, we're responsible for them all. You know what I mean? But they would tell you, especially the ones that have been here for a long time, they're responsible for us.
Oh, yeah.
So, it just comes down to respect, being a human being and being respectful of each other, But also knowing, like, hey, what to do by this point and what not to do.
Yes, and that's what's going to keep Shinedown going for many, many years in the future. I just want to congratulate you again on being the hardest touring rock band of 2018 and well on your way to 2019
Just getting started.
Just well on your way to the next year going on, of course. And Get Up as a single. Whew.
Get out!
Just take it. Just taking it up the charts. You know what I mean? 13th #1 single on the mainstream rock charts. And then I heard it's tied for #1 as far as radio play goes with another artist.
3 Days Grace, which are very, very
which
close
are
to
good
us.
friends of yours too.
We love those
What does
dudes.
it feel like to still be just knocking out #1s this long in your career? I mean, it's incredible. What does it feel like when you hear that news from your label, your partnership, or your people?
It's humbling. It's it kind of goes back to the comment I made a moment ago. You can't phone it in. I mean, a lot of also with Get Up had such a huge impact on the album Attention. Get Up had a huge impact on all of this, and that song in and of itself, it's really become the world's song in a lot of ways, and it just keeps growing exponentially, like literally day by day. I wrote the song about one of my best friends in the world, which just happens to be Eric Bass, who produced Attention.
Slayed it on the production.
Was the main engineer and mixed the album. And when we wrote the song, it was the sounding board for the rest of the songs that came after it. And because it is a story album. But that song is about truly not being afraid to fail in life, because you're going to need that in life to teach you what to do next time. Because it's interesting. I saw something the other night online, and I was really blown away by it. It was actually a speech that was given back in 2010, I believe, by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Has like 150 million views. And he was like, I never had a plan B.
Yeah.
I never had a plan B. I always had a plan A. And the reason he brings that up is, don't be afraid to fail. Michael Jordan, he said, greatest basketball player in the world. Some people would say LeBron, but
they're youngins.
Yeah.
They're not our age.
But he made a point about the fact that, like, Michael Jordan, considered the greatest basketball player in the world, he missed 9,000 shots. And he knows that in his career. So for every
high school team.
Right. You know what I mean? It's that dynamic of, you're not going to be, your legacy and who you are as an individual, you're not going to be defined by your failures. You'll be defined by the fact that you refuse to give up.
Well, thank you so much for giving this very genuine and very present interview. I'm sure all the viewers are really going to enjoy this. Tonight is going to be insane.
It's going to be
Asking
great.
Alexandria, Papa Roach,
100%.
and then bringing down the house, Shinedown. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brent.
And thank you.
Thanks, guys.